Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Marriott, and I'm an advisory services consultant at The Groove. I'm going to share more about the change job update and what this change is actually going to look like in R2 and how you can prepare now from a change management perspective. This release includes a full update to the change job experience and user interface. The goal of this change is to make the workflow more intuitive, consistent, and more accurate, especially for teams that process job changes frequently. You'll notice that the new experience really streamlines the process. It simplifies data entry, reduces clicks, and improves clarity for the user. It's also fully template-driven, which means customers can tailor the sub-processes and the information that displays. Another major improvement is full mobile support. So managers and HR partners who often work on the go will now be able to complete job changes more easily from their phones. It's important to call out that customers who have not yet adopted the enhanced UI will be automatically migrated with the 2026 R2 release. So this change will affect everyone. I would also like to highlight some things that are not changing though. The overall routing, the steps in the business process definition, and your ability to configure what displays. The underlying business process will still behave as it does today. So if you're not familiar with what this change is going to look like, we're going to look at the current and the new UI. Here on this slide, you can see the current change job user interface. This is what many of your managers, HR partners, and administrators are familiar with today if you have not updated to the new change job experience. This view is still functional, but it requires a lot of navigation between sections, and the layout can feel a bit fragmented, which often leads to errors or missing information. Here is the redesigned change job experience. The UI is cleaner, more structured, and much easier for users to follow. Instead of jumping between multiple pages, the enhanced UI consolidates key details and guides the users step by step. One of the biggest improvements is the updated side panel, which shows the worker's current position details. This is going to reduce the need to open additional tabs or search for more information while completing the job change. You'll also notice that Workday has introduced a much more modern page layout, including a customizable banner. You can also see the view from the mobile device. This view will look very similar to the desktop version for users. Now let's talk about what these changes mean for your organization and how to prepare. From a UI perspective, the biggest impacts come from shifts in workflow layout and user navigation. There's no longer a start page, and the new layout and side panel introduce a different way of interacting with the change job process. Setting up the templates is also very important. Because the new experience is template-driven, early decisions about optional fields, required fields, and configurations will shape what the end user sees. You will also want to review your security and approval routing. If changes to the templates are made, that may influence who needs access or who needs to approve specific steps. If you have any questions about how to set up your templates, the group's functional consultants can definitely help. Now let's talk about how you can prepare your organization for this change. To support a smooth rollout, you'll want to focus on these three areas: readiness, communications, and training. First, let's talk about readiness, which is really the foundation for a successful transition. It's incredibly valuable to identify your impacted user groups early. Understanding who will experience the change and what is changing for each group helps you tailor both your communications and your training. This release is also a great opportunity to pause and reflect on your current change job workflow. Because Workday is requiring everyone to move to the new UI, this mandatory change creates a natural moment to evaluate what's working, what isn't, and what can be improved. Between now and the R2 release, you can gather feedback from the people who perform job changes most often. Their insights can help you streamline the process and reduce pain points before adopting the enhanced UI. Another important part of readiness is reviewing your existing training materials. Most organizations already have job aids, videos, and guides for change job, but many of those will need updates. Evaluating what you have now will help you understand the scale of effort required and ensure you're prepared before the release. Next is communications. Early, clear, and consistent communications is super valuable. Be sure to share the timeline for when the legacy change job UI is retiring, and let users know that the new experience will be automatically adopted. Providing FAQs early is also incredibly helpful, especially for those common questions like what's changing and why is it changing. Preparing now for how and when you'll communicate these messages will make the change feel predictable instead of disruptive. The more transparent you are up front, the smoother adoption is going to be. And finally, training. The good news is that this type of change typically doesn't require heavy training. The enhanced UI is cleaner, it's more intuitive, and it's easier to follow. But users will still need to get familiar with the new layout. Short, targeted training is usually the most effective. Things like quick reference guides or job aids and short walkthrough videos. Even just a few minutes of practice for end users can really reduce errors and support a smoother transition. Hopefully this overview gives you a clear sense of what's coming and how you can begin preparing now. With the right readiness, planning, communications, and training, your organization will be positioned for a successful move to the enhanced change job experience. Thank you.